Here we are back on Castle Rock Farm and Homestead. Quick video today. So you can see our little goat here. I don't know, I think I might call him Franklin. Franklin the goat. I don't know. It just popped into my head. We gotta have something to call him. Let us know if you think that's a good name or not. I'll update you if my wife thinks it's a good name or not. She seems to have veto power on some of these things. But his cousins, the triplets, they're about 3 days old, 4 days old now. I noticed them starting to pick at the hay that's on the ground out in their paddock. They start, from what I've read, goats start picking at stuff 3-4 days, sometime in that first week. Obviously, they're still a month's milk, but they'll start picking at stuff. You've seen me use the old shopping carts for their hay feeders for the adults, for the sheep and the adult goats, but it's a little high for the little guys. So what I'm gonna do is, I have this piece of cattle panel just laying around. It's already bent because I haven't used it for like a corner of a square tomato trellis type thing before. But I figured if I lean it this way, I got some scrap 2x6s laying around. Make a nice little hay feeder, throw a bale in there. It's got big holes where they can get their heads through and not get stuck. I'll obviously take some bolt cutters, snip these off, and trim out the edges with wood so nobody's getting cut or anything. And I think this will make a decent hay feeder. Probably grind the edges on some of these too, they're a little sharp. But yeah, let's get cracking on this, see if we can get a nice little hay feeder for them so the little guys can start eating hay, and sooner they get on the hay, sooner they can get off the mom, and I guess we can get them sold. I'm not gonna have a big herd of sheep here. I'm gonna breed them. We'll still have to decide on who we're gonna keep and who we're not, whether mom or babies, just because mom and babies are still really standoffish. So we're not sure if milking them is going to really work or not. We got some work to do with them if that's going to be the case. But anyway, meantime, let's get going. So what we're going to do is just take these bolt cutters and snip these things off. Watch out, Shy Shy. Probably should be wearing real eye protection, just doing the old squint glasses method. Gotta make sure I find all these too. I don't want the flat tires. Short. Now that I'm actually grinding, I got my eye safety on. Make sure we're not throwing sparks over there at the straw. Means I need to turn this way. I'm just gonna grind these edges off. They're gonna be like exposed when the wood will cover the sides, not so much here. So I just want to grind off these sharp edges and not have anybody get cut. And I came out. I'm not going to do anything too scientific here for angles and all that stuff. What I'm going to do is just measure out my lengths, lay the boards in here, trace the angle, and just cut them out on the chop saw. So yeah, it's going to be rough. Nothing fancy. All it's got to do is hold some hay. And I don't think the goats are going to complain either way. So it looks like I'm going about 22 inches on each one. Knock out 4 of those real quick. And then, good thing I got 2 8-footers here. Should be plenty of wood to get done when I need to get done here. So what I got here is the pieces cut. It's got these little bumps here where the edges of the wire are. So all I'm going to do is just take this dead blow hammer and smack it onto those points. That's obviously not going to hold it, but good enough for temporary. Take the other side and butt it up. Do need to just trim a little bit of it off. Do the same on the other side, then we'll make some legs for it. Now it's really not going to have to hold it. I got this scrap piece I'm just going to throw on here to hold it together. Then we'll use some fencing staples or something to secure the wire fencing to the inside. So I'll throw a couple screws in here, make a copy of this for the other side, and get it all put together. Got the other side thrown together, but before I can put it on, I need to get the staples into this side. Hopefully I'll have enough room to get the hammer in here. Flip it over and do the same thing. And I'm going to have to replace this because all the hammering split it. So that's what happens. I got some more scrap I'll find and replace that once I get this all secured here. Got these all stapled on. Redid that one board that split when I was hammering there. So, and I got here just a couple, I made 16-inch long legs. Just picked 16 inches just because. Pre-drilled a couple screws in so I can just kind of hold this level-ish and put these on here where I want, and then put them flat on the ground and just screw them in. Now that it's kind of holding itself, I can kind of figure out where I want to put the other one here so they're fairly even. Thing, like I said, it's not going to be perfect. It's all ish. Keep those from twisting too much. I'm going to throw a third screw in. Then I'll measure this gap, do it on both sides. Measure that gap, throw a piece in here kind of just to hold it together from splitting this way and to keep the hay bale inside. I think I'm pretty much out of wood. I might have to see if I got another couple scraps. I do have some plastic wood look trim pieces. I think I'll go along this upper edge with just so nobody snags on those. Plus it'll keep it from splitting apart this way. But let's get these legs on, get the bracing across here, then we'll see where we're at. If you do this yourself, take all these measurements with a grain of salt. Yours is going to be however you happen to make it. Like I said, this is level-ish, so this happened to be like 14 1/8. This is treated wood. I don't want them chewing on treated, even though they say the chemicals they use nowadays are fine. I'm just not going to chance it. Will it rot out eventually? Yeah, but be good enough for a while. Well, I got lucky. Found one more piece of wood, some scrap chunks that I was able to cut in half, and it's just long enough to do this. I actually just had enough 2.5-inch screws that I need to go through the width of this left. So should be able to make this work. Now there you go. There's the finished product. Like I said, it ain't pretty, but it should work. Just drove these in down as far as I could. See that one split? Just drove it through the split and peeled it off. That's just kind of to keep it from splitting side to side. If that doesn't work, I can always find something else and throw it on there, but I think it should be okay. If not, like I said, I'll fix it. But let's get that thrown out there, get some hay in there, and see how it works. You can see I did find one more piece, one more 2x4. It's just the perfect length. If I ripped it in half and just threw it in as bracing a little farther down there, just to keep the bottom from splitting out as well, because these goats are going to be climbing on it, especially the babies. Not that big enough to do much to it yet, but when they get bigger, yeah, it might be enough weight to split it apart. There you go. Got the hay thrown in there. Quick and dirty, free, well, just leftover stuff from other things. Hay feeder for your goats. You can see one of the little guys right here. He's tall enough he can reach over that bottom brace and get in there if he wants to. Already getting curious. There's baby eating. This is one of baby's babies. Definitely tall enough, and there he is picking at it. So I think this will work well. That's what I was using. I mean, they are tall enough to get at it, but this gives them some bigger holes while they're trying to figure it out. Plus, mama and baby kept pushing that thing up to the fence, and they can jump. So I'm afraid they're gonna get in there and jump out, especially when these little guys get bigger. They're curious, they like to jump around, and I just didn't want that happening. So I think this will be good solution. It's not gonna last forever, but it's definitely gonna last long enough for these guys. Well, thanks for joining us again here at Castle Rock Farm and Homestead. Like and subscribe, keep coming back, watch these little guys grow up.